And it's preferable to peel the onion when it's whole. Because what somebody had to do with this is cut through the root into the onion. And what could possibly happen then?
Bacteria or something on the outside of it going in.
And what's that called?
Cross-contamination.
Cross-contamination, yeah, okay? So yeah, we would peel it all, and then that way it's a little bit cleaner and easier to do that. Now, if we were doing a brown stock, a lot of chefs won't even peel the onion because you do get a little brown color off of the skin. And anything that might have been on the outside here, we're going to cook that stock for at least 4 hours, so any kind of bacteria that may have been on there is going to be dead. But let's get these. So for a stock, we're really not concerned about, but just to show you that we talked about some different ways to cut an onion last week. So the first thing we talked about was the rainbow cut. And so to do that is I'm going to take the onion and start to cut, not straight up and down, but on an angle towards the center. And we want these to be a large dice, but for this demo, I'm going to do a small dice. So what you do is take an angle in, and then a 1/4 inch each slice. By the time I'm at the middle, I should be straight up and down. And then on the other side, start to slant in the opposite direction and doing a 1/4 inch or approximately. So I have the core intact. The onion is holding together real nice. So a lot of the people, they for our stock, that's fine. Now the other way we talked about doing it was the crisscross method. So there we take straight up and down slices into it. And what happens here, because they're straight up and down, I've got this piece that's like a 1/2 inch wide here. So that's where we come and we cut into it in this way and then up here. Then perpendicular cuts. What I don't like about this is it starts to fall apart a little bit more than that rainbow cut does. This is going to cook for a long time, so you don't have to really worry about this a whole lot.
Your fingers are holding it? Might hurt for you. Watching you.
Dish room, and grab me a big bowl.
I just want to bring the
base.
yeah.
Okay. When we're working and we have product left over, like you only need a piece of an onion, okay? When we're working, like, it's not like if every recipe we need a 1/4 cup of onions. Everybody doesn't, yeah, that's perfect. Everybody doesn't have to grab an onion. And then we end up with 15 parts of onions left over. But when we do have things left over, they get wrapped up, and you put the onions with the onions. Pieces of carrot go with the carrot, where it looks like sometimes people just open the door and chuck it in there, and wherever it lands, that's where it stays. Okay, so we're gonna just put this right here. Okay. Can I throw it away?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I use it?
You can use it in the stock
Why?
because it's gonna get hot enough.
Yeah, I'm going to cook it for
Yeah.
4 hours.
They're gonna wash it off. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we
Rinse it off.
could rinse it off.
Yeah.
It's going to cook for a long time. Look at those things. Throw that shit away.
Like, oh no.
Rose, throw that away, man. She is dead.
He's recovering still.
Okay, now. Celery. Okay, this has been in here for a week, so it's looking kind of
It's looking rough.
roughly. But what are we using it for?
Start.
Stock.
Perfect for stock.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
and again, we need, like some, now, if we were making soup, okay, we're not going to use these ends here that are discolored. We're not going to use the end of the core here, okay, but we can use it, okay? And when you're trimming, okay, so we have, let me just pull this piece off here, okay? What part don't we want to use? The very end,
Yeah.
right?
But in the stock, we can use it.
Yeah, but if we're using for soup, something we're gonna serve, that's all we need to trim off. Like, oh, well, that's the end, chef. Like, when you grew up, how many of you grew up and you lived close to the corner of your street? Did that make you less of a person than lived in the middle of the street? Okay, so yeah, that's just. And now, the celery, it has a curved side, it has a flatter side. We don't want to cut on the curved side because then it's rocking. And then again, we talked about that claw grip, and then the grip on the knife, finger and forefinger, and then tip of the knife always on the ground, and we're using a rocking motion. And we're going to practice this now. And what I want you, and so we're going to rest that right on our fingers. But I got my fingertips back. I got my thumb behind them. So that's what we're looking for
I
there.
was trying that at home and it was not working.
Well, it's something that you're not going to, and it's going to feel uncomfortable the first time. And we're going to have you do this next week, but the reality of it, for that stock that's going to cook overnight, I really don't need pieces that small. So if I have pieces even this big, and these ends here, we'll use those. This end here, it doesn't look pretty, but we can use it, Okay, so that'll go into our stock. He's trying to hide in there. Okay, carrots. Problem with the carrots is they're round. They tend to roll on us. For what we're doing for our stock, okay, really no need to peel the carrots. We just cut them. Now, if we were going to dice this for a soup, yes, we would peel them, okay? And then the other thing to cut them, okay, looks like that commercial. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's going to be hard to get nice dice out of. And even if it's straight, that's going to be hard. So rather than trying to cut a 10-inch carrot into a dice, you're going to first, after you peel it, cut it into a manageable length. So if we were going to peel it, is first, see how it's a little wider at this end and thinner here? I'm going to take a small piece off of this end. Then when I turn that on its side, it's more stable. Okay, then I can cut my 1/4 inch pieces like that. I'll stack those. Turn those on its side, and then the same thing. We can get our dice with that. I see people all the time dicing carrots like this. I've never taught anybody to do this because I could think of a worse way to do it, but it would take me a while to come up with that. Like,
It takes too long.
yeah, it does. Unless your grandma was the chef, don't do things the way she did. Okay, so you cut them into the sticks and then that. Now again, for stock, we really don't need to do much. Okay, we're just going to cut these into bigger pieces. Okay. Now somebody go over on that spice rack there. And we're going to look for bay leaves, whole peppercorns, and thyme.
Chef, this is the mirror part we're making right now.
Yes, that's the miracle.
Yeah.
Standard.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Just set those over beside the bowl there. And then
Corn black pepper. Corn pepper.
and then I want you to come over here. Take a peek inside the pot. Come in there, Caitlin.
Peeking in the pot.
I'm coming. I'm coming there
I
after.
can't hear you. Come over here.
Do you guys have an extra bottle of dish soap to get steel for pastry?
Steel.
I don't plan on paying for it, but I don't plan on giving it back.
Borrow,
Yes.
that would mean you're going to bring it back.
That's why I didn't say borrow.
It's like we need a ladle.
So you see now we have
Yeah.
some of that scum
Yeah.
forming up on there. So now what I'm going to do is get the ladle and just lightly, just with not going deep into the pot, going right below the surface and skimming that scum off of there. And then I'm going to put it, now the way I have, the reason why I have the water here is, yeah, to rinse off the spoon then, once I have that in there.
I made chicken soup, yeah.
And you can see what we're doing now. If I had bay leaves and thyme in there, a lot of bay leaves and thyme would be in here, and we're just going to throw that away. And peppercorns, the bay leaves, and all that, you know,
The chef, when it's clear, you see?
what?
It's clear, maybe because it's
It's
still
starting
up.
to get, yeah, it's
Clear.
still a little cloudy now.
I mean, the water itself behind the scum.
Yeah. And we don't want to lose our herbs and spices. And think about it. Traditionally, what was the most expensive foods in the world?
Vegetable.
What's that?
Vegetable.
Spices. Think about it. Why did the Queen of Spain give Christopher Columbus 3 of the 15th century equivalent of the space shuttle and go off into who knew where.
Nowhere. You
You
never
know,
know where they're going.
those boats that he had, those were the equivalent of what we now use to go into space.
Yes, sir.
How expensive was that? What were they looking for? A faster way to where spices came from Asia. Yeah, that, you know, so now they're not as expensive as they were back then, you know, and there's other reasons why they were so expensive and why you wanted a sea over the ocean to go there. You think about somebody traveling from India to Europe in the 14th, 15th century. Okay, they were either traveling by like camel, caravan, or horses. How many countries did they have to go through? A lot, right? And what did each country want? Maybe they had enough spices, and if they already had enough spices, what else? Coming through my country, they had a little tariff going on, or a little toll to pay for it. So the cost of the spice, every country or every, you know, there's a small army there, they want paid, somebody else wants paid, that contributes to the cost of it. But this is what, you know, so now what I want to do here, you see it's starting to come up to a little bit of a boil. So we're going to turn that down now. You want to keep it at a light simmer. Because if it starts to boil, then we won't be able to skim that off of there. Joe, take that back and dump it in the spray station by the dishwasher. So we've got pretty much the majority of that off. Some will still start to come up. Okay, but at this point, we can go ahead and add in the veg. Go ahead and grab those up there. Yeah, just go ahead and dump those in. Hey, don't splash me, you know. I'm not here. Scrape the rest of those onions in there. What are you, rich? You can afford to waste onions? What are you? Trust fund, baby. Okay. Here. Okay, then let's grab those herbs and spices too.
You know that video got 500 views already.
Bay leaves.
YouTube.
What do you need?
Let's do it.
A few bay leaves. That's
509 already.
Tablespoons worth of thyme. A couple tablespoons worth of pepper. What are we missing? Hot salt. What?
Oh, this is that. This is that.
Oh, nobody's answering because I ran out of the donuts. Parsley what?
Cooking chicken starts.
Parsley's down.
Hey, subscribe to my YouTube and watch this video. I wish I could do the whole class. Yeah, you can't just go home and just sit down and just watch YouTube.
You can see, you know, the bay leaves, the thyme, it's all floating up on top. If we had started to skim when those were in there, a lot of those would be in the bowl. Some would have been dumped down with Joe, just dumped down the drain, and it's just a waste.
Chef, so in the book it was talking about like 8 cloves of garlic. You could use like garlic and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes chefs would like to put garlic in there. If I put garlic in, I don't do anything to the garlic. I don't even peel it. Just drop it in there. The whole ball. The more you mince garlic, the stronger the taste gets. There's 2 chemicals in garlic that give us that, you know, strong taste of garlic. The more you chop it up, the more you mix those 2, and then the stronger it is. If you want a very subtle flavor of the garlic, you just drop in whole cloves, and like I said, I usually don't even put them in there. Yeah. Sometimes chefs would want to put some tomato in there too.
Oh, that's when you're making the brown one.
Well, the brown one, or even sometimes chefs might like it inside this stock too. Yeah. You know, this is a very, very basic recipe. Okay. You will see, you know, chefs doing it a little bit different. Okay, why are they doing a little bit different? It's kind of what they just learn to like, or it might be that they'll do that for a stock going to be used for one thing, but not for a stock used for another dish.
Chef, also they're saying that when you're using the tomato paste, you gotta like roast it with
brown. Well, if you know, and then when we want the brown stock, we'll do that. We'll roast it because that gives it some more color.
Yeah, and it also will take out the bitterness. You take the bitterness from the.
Oh, there's not too much bitterness. Yeah. It'll take some of the sweetness away, and actually roasting it and browning adds a little bit of bitterness to it.
Well, that's what the book was saying. So I'm like,
well, I don't always agree with the guy that wrote the book. Yeah. But who grades your test?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, you, Chef. We're going to year. We're going to your way.
You listen to you.
Yeah.
We're the chef way.
Yeah.
Gangster chef.
Definitely. Oh, that's what the other chef said.
Yeah, he's a gangster chef.
Yeah.
Okay, so
wave again.
Carefully, just open up one side. The side that has the 2 pockets on it. Open that side up. Okay, now one thing that we don't have on them, but maybe you want to think about getting some, is they sell guards that can go over the knives. And just a little added safety with it. Okay? So we want to make sure everyone has the French knife, a vegetable peeler, paring knife, boning knife, serrated knife. This is a slicer, meat slicer, and the sharpening steel.
The honing.
Everyone has one of these, right? Okay, close that up and zip it up again. Flip it over and open up the other side. But before you open it up, notice the little tag up here. Okay? This can come out if you flip it over, put your name on there.
Okay.
Put it back in. I know it's hard to believe, but people leave their knife kits here all the time. And we'd like to know who they belong to.
The barcode.
Or need a pen? Oh yeah.
Okay, so nothing in this package, but the knife kit has room to grow. So things, you know, like when we want you to have recipe cards and stuff, maybe you could keep them in here. Some other equipment. Okay, but you can close that up for right now. Then open up the middle section. Got the thermometer in there. And then the belt here, that's a carrying strap for it.
Oh.
So you can have it over your shoulder rather than and then you see there's room in here too for more knives. Okay, so what you have right now is there's really nothing that you could not do with it, but you know, like the kits that I have at home that I use if I'm catering and doing something, you know, like in my kit, I might have some pairs of tongs in it, some spatulas and things like that. You've got room to do this. Knife kit's something that over the years you will add more and more to it.
Do you have any Band-Aids? I cut my finger.
Oh my God! When did what?
I'm okay.
Rewind to where I said, cut your finger.
I did that stuff.
I'm a weak.
I just really did. Hold on, I gotta go look at it. God. Really did that. Let me see it. What's that stuff? Let me see on.
He's like, let me see it.
Oh wow. Gee, you really did it. Did the knife do that?
I barely even grazed it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
I'm the first one. I broke the ice.
Man. Sorry about that. That's real stuff. This kitchen is real stuff.
You got me good. What not to do? Don't do that.
What were you doing?
Oh, don't hit
look
your
again,
head.
getting more hurt again. What were you doing?
Opening my knife kit.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Your hand just slip off?
Yep. Yep.
I'm sorry
Them
about
things
that.
are sharp. They don't even play.
Yeah, my chef was saying that in the class already. Hey, keep on bleeding.
Yeah, it won't stop.
You really cut it. I think you were just kidding.
No, I really did.
I'm put it on.
I'm gonna take another one with me.
I think we're going. School is serious. Being a chef is a real thing. You, could
Right?
you know, you could cut the whole finger off. No, for real, because I mean, that's to show how sharp
You
those
could.
knives are. Yeah.
You could. Them things
Yeah.
are sharp, man.
Gee.
Yeah.
What's your name again?
Brenda,
Brenda.
the white.
Brenda. That's my classmate.
Hey,
She just got her finger.
Brenda, because I should know better.